You're walking across the living room on what feels like an ordinary evening. Suddenly, a sharp weakness grips your legs. Your knees buckle, and for a terrifying moment you feel as though the floor is rushing up to meet you. Many seniors describe this sensation as if their legs simply gave out with no warning. Imagine how frightening it must feel. One second you're upright, the next, you're clutching for balance, afraid that the next step could lead to a fall, a fracture, or worse, a long hospital stay that robs you of independence. Now you might assume the culprit is just old age, or maybe even something obvious like lack of exercise. But the shocking truth I've seen in countless patients is that weak legs are not always caused by inactivity. In fact, circulation, the flow of blood to your muscles, plays an enormous role. Without healthy circulation, your legs simply cannot get the oxygen and nutrients they need to stay strong. It's not just about how much you move, but what you put on your plate every single day. Here's the part that surprises many people. Foods that either improve or impair circulation are often disguised as harmless or even healthy. I've treated seniors who thought they were making good choices, only to find out those very foods were robbing their muscles of strength. One patient, Mrs. Hernandez, age 72, believed her daily light diet was keeping her fit. She avoided red meat, exercised lightly, and drank plenty of water. Yet one day she fainted in her kitchen because her blood flow to her legs had become so compromised that her muscles literally gave out beneath her. It wasn't her age, it was her diet, which lacked the foods that nourish blood vessels and muscles. Think of your leg muscles like engines. Engines cannot run without fuel. Blood is that fuel delivery system carrying oxygen and nutrients. But here's the catch: as you age, the inner lining of your blood vessels, called the endothelium, becomes stiffer. Medical studies confirm that after age 60, arteries naturally lose some of their flexibility, making it harder for blood to move efficiently into your legs. That's why seniors often notice slower walking speed, increased fatigue, or aching calves after even short strolls. The danger doesn't stop there. Weak circulation raises the risk of deep vein thrombosis, clots forming in your legs, which can break loose and travel to your lungs or brain. A fall combined with poor circulation is not just a painful injury, it can mark the start of permanent disability. I've seen too many patients lose their confidence in walking, becoming housebound, not because they wanted to, but because their legs betrayed them. But here's the hopeful truth. Circulation can be improved. Your legs are not doomed to weakness. Certain foods, scientifically proven, can help restore blood flow, relax arteries, and power your muscles with the oxygen they desperately need. And once circulation improves, so does your strength, balance, and independence. That's why today, we're going to uncover 5 powerful foods that can literally breathe new life into your legs. Before we dive in, let me ask you to do something important. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that button and turn on the bell so you never miss another health tip made just for you. And if you enjoy this kind of content, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 to let me know how I can make it better. Your feedback helps me continue to share life-saving advice. Now, take a deep breath and prepare yourself, because what you eat could mean the difference between legs that keep you moving freely for years and legs that betray you at the worst possible moment. Today, I'll walk you through 5 everyday foods that can dramatically boost circulation and muscle power after 60. And the first one might already be sitting in your refrigerator. When most people think of leafy greens, they picture something light and almost too simple to make a real difference, like spinach leaves tucked into a salad or kale added to a smoothie. But what if I told you these humble greens have the power to open up your blood vessels, like turning a rusty faucet into a smooth stream? That's exactly what they do, thanks to a natural compound called nitrate. As a doctor, I've seen seniors who thought their weak legs were just old age, when in reality, their arteries were starving their muscles of oxygen. Here's where leafy greens change the game. Nitrates in spinach and kale convert into nitric oxide in your body, a gas that signals your blood vessels to relax and widen. This means more oxygen-rich blood flows directly to your legs, fueling your muscles so they can carry you without trembling or cramping. It's like flipping on a switch that restores energy to a dimmed-out room. Let me share the story of Mr. Raymond, a 66-year-old retired carpenter. He came to me complaining that after just a few minutes of walking, his calves felt heavy, almost like they were filling with cement. He worried about peripheral artery disease, and tests showed reduced circulation in his lower limbs. Instead of immediately recommending medication, I encouraged him to make a simple dietary shift, adding a daily serving of leafy greens. Within 6 weeks, he reported something remarkable. He could walk twice as far without pain, and his legs felt lighter, stronger, and alive again, as he put it. His wife told me she hadn't seen him so energetic in years. This isn't just anecdotal. Clinical studies confirm that seniors who eat nitrate-rich vegetables experience measurable improvements in vascular function and walking performance. But the power of leafy greens doesn't stop there. They also contain potassium and magnesium minerals that help regulate blood pressure and muscle contractions. Imagine your leg muscles trying to fire, but not getting the proper signal. Magnesium corrects that, preventing the nighttime cramps that keep so many older adults awake in pain. However, there's a cautionary note here. For seniors with kidney problems, eating excessive spinach can increase oxalate buildup, potentially leading to kidney stones. And for those on blood-thinning medication like warfarin, suddenly consuming large amounts of vitamin K from kale or collards can interfere with the drug's effectiveness. This is why I always advise balance, not overload. A cup of steamed spinach or a handful of raw kale in a salad each day is powerful enough to keep circulation flowing without overwhelming your system. Think of it this way. Every forkful of greens is like sending a fresh wave of oxygen into your legs. Your muscles, your arteries, even your balance all benefit. Seniors who start incorporating these foods often tell me they feel a noticeable difference within weeks: less heaviness, fewer cramps, and more energy for daily activities. Now let me ask you, when was the last time you had a serving of leafy greens today? Was it just a sprinkle on a sandwich or a real portion that could actually fuel your legs? This is the difference between just eating vegetables and eating with purpose. And here's the suspenseful part. While greens are incredible, they're not the only food that can dramatically open your blood vessels. In fact, the next food we'll discuss takes nitric oxide production to an entirely new level, and athletes around the world swear by it. But for seniors, its impact on circulation and muscle power is even more dramatic. So if spinach got your attention, wait until you hear about the deep red root that could transform your legs. Picture a vegetable so ordinary that you might pass it by in the supermarket without a second thought. Its rough skin and deep crimson color don't scream superfood. Yet inside this humble root lies one of the most powerful natural circulatory boosters known to science: the beet. Beets are loaded with natural nitrates, even more concentrated than leafy greens. Once inside your body, these nitrates convert into nitric oxide, the same molecule that widens blood vessels and improves blood flow. For seniors, this is especially critical. As arteries stiffen with age, the ability to deliver oxygen to your leg muscles diminishes. That's why so many older adults describe a burning or heavy sensation after walking only a short distance. Beets, however, can help reverse this decline by reactivating the nitric oxide pathway, almost like oiling the hinges of rusty arteries. Let me tell you about Mrs. Tanaka, a 70-year-old retired schoolteacher from Osaka. She had always been active, walking to the park every morning. But over time, her stamina decreased. "It feels like my legs are filled with sand," she told me. Medical scans showed reduced blood flow in her femoral arteries, the major highways delivering oxygen to the thighs. Instead of jumping straight to invasive procedures, I recommended a simple experiment: drinking a glass of beet juice 3 times a week. Within a month, she noticed her morning walks no longer ended in exhaustion. At her follow-up, she beamed, "Doctor, my legs feel 10 years younger." This transformation isn't unique. Sports scientists have long studied beetroot juice for its ability to improve athletic endurance. What surprises many seniors is that the same mechanism helping athletes run faster also helps them walk farther, climb stairs more easily, and maintain independence. Studies show that beet juice can lower the oxygen cost of exercise, meaning your muscles require less effort to do the same work. For someone over 60, that's like adding a new layer of efficiency to tired muscles. But of course, there's a caution. Beets are naturally high in oxalates, which can contribute to kidney stones in susceptible individuals. They also interact with certain blood pressure medications, occasionally lowering blood pressure too much if combined. And here's another surprising risk: some seniors with irritable bowel issues find that beets worsen bloating. That's why moderation, about half a cup of cooked beets or a small glass of juice a few times a week, is usually sufficient. Still, the benefits are undeniable. Beets are not only nitrate-rich, they're also packed with betalains, powerful antioxidants that reduce inflammation in blood vessels. Inflammation is one of the silent culprits behind weak legs. It narrows arteries and prevents smooth circulation. By calming inflammation, beets don't just open the pathways, they keep them open longer. Imagine your legs like a busy city at rush hour. Cars pile up, traffic slows, and frustration builds. Eating beets is like opening up extra lanes on the highway, allowing traffic to move freely again. Seniors often describe it as a lightness in their steps, the difference between dragging their feet and walking briskly. Now, I want you to think. How often do you include beets in your weekly meals? Many people avoid them simply because they don't know how to prepare them. Yet, roasting beets, blending them into smoothies, or even grating them raw into salads can be simple, delicious ways to reap their benefits. And here's the bigger question. If a root vegetable can make such a dramatic change, what about foods from the sea? Because the next circulation-boosting food doesn't just target your blood vessels, it actively reduces inflammation and clot formation in ways beets alone cannot. Seniors who combine the two often experience not just better walking ability but less cramping, fewer nighttime aches, and a noticeable return of energy. Let's explore this ocean powerhouse next. Close your eyes and imagine standing on a rocky shoreline. The sea air is cool, the waves are steady, and beneath the surface swims one of nature's richest gifts for circulation and muscle health: salmon. Unlike leafy greens or beets which deliver nitrates, salmon provides something entirely different yet equally essential: omega-3 fatty acids. As we age, inflammation becomes one of the silent enemies of our circulation. Think of your arteries as flexible garden hoses. Over time, they stiffen and develop tiny cracks. Inflammation acts like rust, narrowing the hose and slowing blood flow to your muscles. Omega-3s found abundantly in salmon, mackerel, and sardines reduce this inflammatory process. They calm the inner lining of arteries, making it easier for blood to glide smoothly into the legs. For seniors, this means fewer cramps, stronger walking ability, and a lower risk of blood clots that can suddenly block circulation altogether. I'll never forget Mr. Wallace, a 74-year-old retired bus driver from Chicago. He came to me after experiencing nightly calf cramps so severe they woke him up screaming. His wife described how he would sit on the edge of the bed massaging his legs in agony. Tests revealed borderline peripheral artery disease and high triglycerides. Instead of relying only on medication, I recommended adding salmon twice a week. Within 2 months, he reported that the cramps had nearly disappeared. "It's like my legs belong to me again," he said, smiling. His triglyceride levels also dropped significantly, a bonus for his overall heart health. Science supports his experience. Research shows omega-3s help prevent the formation of blood clots by reducing platelet stickiness. For seniors, this is life-saving since clots in the legs can travel to the lungs, causing a pulmonary embolism, or to the brain, triggering a stroke. In other words, salmon doesn't just feed your muscles, it protects your life. But as always, there are cautions. Some seniors worry about mercury in fish. Fortunately, salmon, especially wild-caught varieties, has relatively low mercury levels compared to larger fish like tuna. Another consideration is medication interaction. If you are already taking prescription blood thinners, consuming high doses of omega-3 supplements alongside fatty fish may increase bleeding risk. That's why I always emphasize moderation. 2 servings of fatty fish per week are enough to deliver benefits without tipping into excess. Beyond circulation, salmon also provides high-quality protein. Seniors often underestimate how important protein is for preserving muscle mass. After age 60, muscle naturally declines in a process called sarcopenia. Without sufficient protein, even strong circulation cannot fully protect your legs. That's why salmon is such a powerful ally. It strengthens your arteries and nourishes your muscles at the same time. Omega-3s also improve flexibility in red blood cells. Picture red blood cells as delivery trucks carrying oxygen. With age, these trucks stiffen, struggling to squeeze through narrow capillaries in the legs. Omega-3s keep them supple, ensuring oxygen reaches every corner of your muscles. It's like upgrading from old, rusty trucks to brand new, agile vehicles that never get stuck in traffic. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you enjoyed a meal of salmon, sardines, or even mackerel? Many seniors avoid fish because they find it difficult to cook or dislike the smell. Yet simple recipes like baking salmon with lemon or adding canned sardines to whole grain crackers can make a dramatic difference without complication. And here's the part that should excite you. While salmon helps your arteries stay clear, the next food we'll explore actually strengthens the walls of your blood vessels themselves. Imagine your veins and arteries not just open but fortified, like strong bridges that resist collapse. It comes from a fruit so familiar you've probably had it at breakfast, but few realize the hidden risks it can carry when combined with common medications. Curious. Let's step into the world of citrus. When you peel an orange or slice open a grapefruit, the burst of citrus aroma feels refreshing, almost healing. For many seniors, starting the day with a glass of orange juice or half a grapefruit is a long-standing ritual. But beyond the fresh taste lies a double-edged sword. Citrus fruits can be both a blessing and, in certain circumstances, a hidden risk. Let's begin with the good. Citrus fruits are loaded with vitamin C, a nutrient essential for maintaining the structural integrity of your blood vessels. Picture your veins and arteries as bridges. Over time, without the right support, the concrete cracks, the steel weakens, and the bridge begins to crumble. Vitamin C acts like reinforcement, keeping the collagen in your vessel walls strong and elastic. This means blood flows more smoothly into your legs, reducing the chance of fatigue, swelling, and aching muscles. But vitamin C is only part of the story. Citrus fruits also contain flavonoids such as hesperidin, which directly improve circulation by reducing inflammation and promoting healthy dilation of arteries. In fact, studies have shown that seniors who consume citrus regularly experience better microcirculation, the tiny blood flow that reaches into muscles and skin. This is why some patients tell me their legs feel warmer and less heavy after adding citrus to their diets. I recall the case of Mrs. Alvarez, a 68-year-old grandmother who had always loved grapefruit. She came to me complaining of persistent leg swelling and fatigue. Her tests showed moderate venous insufficiency, a condition where blood struggles to return from the legs back to the heart. I recommended she include citrus daily, an orange in the afternoon, or a squeeze of lemon in her water. Over the following months, her swelling eased noticeably. She said, "Doctor, I feel lighter on my feet. I can play with my grandchildren without stopping every 10 minutes. That's the power of citrus at work." But here's where caution becomes critical. Grapefruit in particular contains furanocoumarins, compounds that interfere with liver enzymes responsible for metabolizing many medications. This can cause drugs to build up in the body to dangerous levels. I once treated a 72-year-old man, Mr. Clark, who was on statins for cholesterol. He drank grapefruit juice every morning, unaware of the interaction. After several months, he developed severe muscle pain, a known side effect of excessive statin levels. Only after stopping the grapefruit did his symptoms improve. This interaction doesn't happen with all medications, but it's common enough that I always issue a clear warning. If you are on cholesterol drugs, certain blood pressure medications, or even blood thinners, ask your doctor before adding grapefruit to your diet. Oranges and lemons are generally safer alternatives, offering similar benefits without the same risk of drug interference. Another consideration is acidity. Seniors with acid reflux may find that citrus aggravates their symptoms. In those cases, smaller portions or pairing citrus with other foods can help. Moderation is key. A single orange or a small slice of grapefruit is often enough to deliver the benefits without overwhelming your digestive system. Think of citrus as both a healer and a teacher. It shows us that foods can strengthen our circulation and muscles, but they can also clash with the medicines designed to protect us. The lesson here is balance and awareness. Used wisely, citrus can make your legs stronger, your blood vessels more resilient, and your daily energy brighter. So let me ask you, when you reach for fruit in the morning, do you think about how it might be affecting your circulation or your medications? For many seniors, the answer is no. But after today, I hope you see citrus in a new light, a simple, colorful ally when used with caution. And if citrus surprised you, the next food may shock you even more. Because hidden inside something often thought of as an indulgence is a compound so powerful that it can relax arteries and supercharge circulation. But take too much and its sweetness can turn harmful, especially for those battling diabetes. Curious? Then let's move on to the surprising world of dark chocolate. For many people, chocolate feels like a guilty pleasure, something to be enjoyed sparingly, often with a touch of shame. But what if I told you that in its pure dark form, chocolate can act like a medicinal food for your circulation? The key lies in flavonols, natural plant compounds abundant in cocoa. These compounds have a direct impact on the health of your arteries and muscles. Flavonols stimulate the production of nitric oxide, that same powerful molecule we discussed with greens and beets. Nitric oxide relaxes blood vessels, widens them, and improves the flow of oxygen-rich blood into your legs. For seniors, this can mean less heaviness, less fatigue, and more strength when standing or walking. Unlike sugary candy bars, pure dark chocolate, 70% cocoa or higher provides these compounds in meaningful amounts. Take the story of Mr. Johnson, a 69-year-old retired mechanic. He came to me frustrated by his constant leg cramps at night. "I stretch, I walk, I even drink more water," he said, "but still my calves seize up." He was wary of more medication, so I suggested an experiment: add a small square of dark chocolate to his evening routine paired with a handful of nuts for balance. Within 3 weeks, his cramps became less frequent. After 2 months, they nearly vanished. He told me half-jokingly, "Doctor, this is the sweetest prescription I've ever had." The science backs him up. Clinical trials show that dark chocolate improves endothelial function, the ability of blood vessels to expand and contract efficiently. This effect is especially pronounced in older adults whose arteries naturally stiffen with age. In one study, seniors who consumed flavanol-rich cocoa experienced significant improvements in blood flow within just 2 weeks. That means chocolate isn't just comfort food, it's a circulatory booster. But here's where caution is necessary. Chocolate often comes loaded with sugar, fat, and additives that can cancel out its benefits. For seniors with diabetes or insulin resistance, too much sugar can wreak havoc on blood sugar levels, damaging circulation rather than helping it. I once treated a patient, Mrs. Davis, who began eating milk chocolate daily after hearing about its heart benefits. Within months, her blood sugar spiked and her circulation worsened. The difference wasn't the chocolate itself, but the excess sugar and low cocoa content in what she was eating. That's why I stress moderation and quality matter. 1 or 2 small squares of high-quality dark chocolate a few times a week is enough to deliver flavanols without tipping into excess calories or sugar. Pairing chocolate with healthy fats like almonds or walnuts slows sugar absorption, making it safer for blood sugar control. Dark chocolate also contains magnesium, another mineral essential for muscle health. Magnesium supports muscle relaxation, preventing the tight spasms that plague so many seniors at night. Think of it as a double benefit. Flavanols improve circulation while magnesium soothes muscles directly. Together, they create a powerful defense against weak, tired legs. So let me ask you, when was the last time you enjoyed a piece of chocolate without guilt? Perhaps you've avoided it for years, fearing it was bad, but now you know that chosen wisely, dark chocolate can be both indulgence and medicine. The key is discipline, choosing dark over milk, savoring a small portion, and remembering that more is not always better. And here's something to consider: while chocolate relaxes your arteries, the next food we'll explore has an entirely different weapon. It doesn't just improve circulation, it thins the blood itself, reducing the risk of clots and helping legs stay warm and energized. It's not a sweet treat, but a pungent, aromatic kitchen staple used in cultures around the world. If you've guessed garlic, you're already one step ahead. Let's uncover its secrets next. The moment you crush a clove of garlic, its sharp aroma fills the air. For centuries, cultures around the world have prized garlic not just as food, but as medicine. Today, modern science confirms what our ancestors suspected: garlic is a powerful ally for circulation and muscle strength, especially in seniors. The secret lies in a sulfur-containing compound called allicin, released when garlic is chopped, crushed, or chewed. Allicin helps relax blood vessels and reduce blood pressure, allowing blood to flow more freely into the legs. But it also does something even more remarkable: it thins the blood, slightly reducing the tendency of platelets to clump together and form clots. For older adults at risk of poor circulation or deep vein thrombosis, this is no small benefit. Let me tell you about Mr. Kim, a 73-year-old retired tailor. He complained of cold, heavy legs that made winter unbearable. His circulation was sluggish and his toes sometimes tingled with numbness. He had tried compression stockings, but the relief was temporary. At the suggestion of his daughter, he began adding 1 raw garlic clove, finely chopped, to his meals each evening. Within a month, he noticed his legs no longer felt icy. "Doctor," he told me, "for the first time in years, my feet are warm without 3 pairs of socks." His story illustrates just how powerful garlic can be. Garlic's benefits don't stop at circulation. It also reduces inflammation in the arteries, calming the very processes that stiffen vessels with age. Combined with its antioxidant properties, garlic acts like a guardian of vascular health. Research shows seniors who consume garlic regularly have better blood vessel elasticity, lower cholesterol, and improved walking ability compared to those who don't. But, as with all powerful remedies, there are cautions. Because garlic thins the blood, consuming it in large amounts right before surgery can increase the risk of excessive bleeding. I once cared for a patient, Mrs. O'Leary, age 70, who underwent a minor dental procedure. She had been eating garlic supplements daily for months. The dentist was shocked by how much bleeding occurred during what should have been a simple extraction. While garlic wasn't dangerous in her case, it was a reminder that natural remedies can be just as potent as medications. Another consideration is digestive sensitivity. Some seniors experience heartburn or stomach upset from raw garlic. In those cases, roasting or lightly cooking garlic can soften its impact while still delivering benefits, though at slightly reduced potency. For those who prefer supplements, garlic capsules can provide a more convenient option, but whole garlic is always my first recommendation. Think of garlic as a silent helper. You don't need a lot, just a clove or 2 per day worked into soups, stir-fries, or salad dressings. Over time, this simple habit can keep blood moving, reduce the heaviness in your legs, and even lower the chance of dangerous clots. So let me ask you, do you see garlic as just a seasoning or as a medicine hiding in plain sight? For many, it's the cheapest, most effective circulatory aid available in the kitchen. Yet few take it seriously until they experience the difference themselves. And if garlic seems powerful, wait until you discover the next group of foods. They don't just improve blood flow, they provide the minerals your muscles rely on to contract and relax properly. Without them, circulation alone won't keep your legs strong. This next solution comes from something crunchy, satisfying, and often overlooked in senior diets. Let's talk about nuts. Think of your muscles like electrical machines. They need signals to contract and relax, and those signals depend on minerals, especially magnesium. Without enough of it, your muscles misfire. They twitch, cramp, or lock up in painful spasms. This is why so many seniors wake up in the middle of the night clutching their calves. The good news, a simple handful of nuts can make all the difference. Almonds, walnuts, cashews, and hazelnuts are rich in magnesium as well as healthy fats and protein. Magnesium acts like the conductor of an orchestra, ensuring your muscles contract smoothly and release without seizing up. For circulation, magnesium also helps regulate blood pressure by relaxing the walls of blood vessels, making it easier for blood to travel into your legs. I remember Mrs. Rozzi, a 71-year-old grandmother who came to me nearly in tears. "Doctor, I can't sleep," she said. "Every night my legs cramp so badly I end up pacing the hallway." She had tried stretching, more water, even cutting out caffeine, but nothing helped. When we tested her, her magnesium levels were low. I suggested a daily serving of nuts, about a small handful, no more. Within weeks, her nighttime cramps reduced dramatically. At her follow-up visit, she hugged me and said, "I finally sleep through the night again." But magnesium isn't the only gift nuts provide. Walnuts are rich in omega-3 fatty acids similar to salmon, which reduce inflammation in arteries. Almonds contain vitamin E, a powerful antioxidant that protects blood vessels from oxidative damage. Cashews deliver copper, which helps your body produce energy at the cellular level, fueling leg muscles during activity. In other words, nuts are a compact package of nutrients designed to support both blood flow and muscle strength. However, there are cautions here too. Nuts are calorie-dense, and it's easy to overeat them, especially when roasted with salt or coated with sugar. For seniors managing weight or blood pressure, this can backfire. I once had a patient, Mr. Daniels, 68, who thought he was doing himself a favor by eating lots of walnuts every day. Unfortunately, he was consuming nearly 2 cups at a time. His cholesterol and weight both climbed. When he cut back to a modest handful, the benefits returned without the drawbacks. Another consideration is allergies. Some seniors discover later in life that nuts trigger digestive issues or even mild allergic responses. In those cases, pumpkin seeds or sunflower seeds can serve as excellent alternatives, offering magnesium and healthy fats without the risks. What makes nuts so powerful is their convenience. Unlike preparing fish or cooking greens, nuts require no effort, just a small portion kept in a jar ready for snacking. This makes them an easy daily habit for seniors who may not cook elaborate meals. Imagine replacing a cookie or cracker with a handful of almonds. Over time, that small switch can mean steadier circulation, calmer muscles, and more restful nights. So let me ask, when was the last time you had a serving of nuts? Was it yesterday or weeks ago? Many seniors I speak with rarely eat nuts, dismissing them as too rich. Yet those same individuals often suffer from cramps, fatigue, or restless legs at night. It's a reminder that sometimes the simplest foods carry the biggest solutions. And while nuts stabilize your muscles and circulation, they're not the final piece of the puzzle. Because what we eat is the base of our diet, the grains that fill our bowls can either clog our arteries or keep them clean. Too many seniors unknowingly choose the wrong kind, slowly starving their legs of blood flow. That's why the next section focuses on whole grains, the unsung heroes of circulation. Every culture has its staple grain: rice in Asia, bread in Europe, corn in the Americas. For most seniors, these foods have been a part of daily life since childhood. But here's the catch: not all grains are created equal. The difference between refined grains and whole grains can determine whether your arteries stay open and nourished or gradually choke off the blood flow to your legs. Refined grains like white rice, white bread, and processed pasta are stripped of their fiber and nutrients. What remains is fast-digesting starch that spikes blood sugar, leading to inflammation and plaque buildup in the arteries over time. Whole grains, on the other hand, keep their bran and germ. They deliver fiber, vitamins, and minerals that actively protect your circulation. Fiber binds to cholesterol in the digestive tract, preventing it from entering the bloodstream and clogging arteries. The result: cleaner blood vessels that carry oxygen more efficiently to your muscles. I recall the case of Mr. Patel, a 70-year-old retired shopkeeper. He came to me with complaints of constant fatigue in his legs and occasional swelling around his ankles. His diet consisted mostly of white rice and white bread foods he had eaten since childhood. His cholesterol was creeping up and his blood pressure was unstable. I encouraged him to make one simple switch: replace half his rice with brown rice and swap white bread for whole grain. Within 4 months, his cholesterol dropped significantly and he reported walking farther without that familiar heaviness. "Doctor," he said proudly, "I feel like I've taken weights off my ankles." Whole grains also provide magnesium, selenium, and B vitamins, which play crucial roles in muscle contraction and energy metabolism. Oats, for example, are rich in beta-glucan, a type of soluble fiber that lowers LDL cholesterol, the bad cholesterol that damages arteries. Barley and quinoa add variety and offer similar circulatory benefits. Even popcorn, when air-popped and unsalted, counts as a whole grain snack that supports vascular health. But here's an important caution: portion control still matters. Some seniors mistakenly think that switching to whole grains means they can eat unlimited amounts. I once had a patient, Mrs. Lee, who proudly told me she had switched to brown rice only to pile her plate as high as before. Her blood sugar remained elevated, and her circulation didn't improve until she balanced her portions with vegetables and protein. Whole grains are powerful, but they work best as part of a varied, balanced diet. Another issue is digestive adjustment. Seniors who have eaten refined grains for decades may initially experience bloating or gas when switching to whole grains. This is simply the body adapting to increased fiber. Gradual changes, adding a little at a time, can prevent discomfort and make the transition easier. Think of your arteries as highways. Refined grains act like traffic jams, slowing everything down. Whole grains, with their fiber and nutrients, act like road crews that clear debris and keep traffic flowing smoothly. Every serving of oats or brown rice is like hiring another worker to keep your highways open. So let me ask, what kind of grains are on your plate today? Are they helping your circulation or quietly sabotaging it? Too often, seniors underestimate how much these daily staples matter. Yet the difference between white bread and whole grain bread can be the difference between legs that tire quickly and legs that carry you strongly through the day. And now we come to the final section of our journey. We've explored greens, beets, salmon, citrus, chocolate, garlic, nuts, and grains, each with their unique power to boost circulation and muscle strength. But knowledge alone is not enough. In the final chapter, I'll tie everything together, offering safe alternatives, practical daily tips, and a reassuring message that your legs can remain strong if you choose wisely. Let's bring it all home. We've taken quite a journey together through leafy greens, beets, salmon, citrus, dark chocolate, garlic, nuts, and whole grains. Each food carried its own secret, its own power to support circulation and muscle strength. And if there is one truth I want you to carry with you, it is this: aging does not have to mean surrendering your legs, your independence, or your vitality. What you choose to eat can either accelerate weakness or unlock new reserves of strength. Let's take a moment to reflect. Seniors often tell me, "Doctor, I feel like my body betrays me as I get older." And yes, changes do happen. Arteries stiffen, muscles lose mass, recovery slows. But betrayal is not the right word. Your body is only responding to decades of habits, many of which you can still reshape today. Circulation can be improved, muscles can be nourished, and independence can be preserved far longer than most people believe possible. Here are the key lessons we've learned. Leafy greens and beets widen your arteries with natural nitrates, fueling tired muscles with oxygen. Salmon and nuts reduce inflammation and supply healthy fats and minerals that stabilize circulation and muscle function. Citrus fruits strengthen blood vessel walls, though grapefruit demands caution for those on medication. Dark chocolate improves arterial flexibility, provided it's high in cocoa and low in sugar. Garlic thins blood naturally, keeping your legs warm and your vessels clear. Whole grains lower cholesterol and ensure long-term stability in the highways of your bloodstream. But what if some of these foods are not right for you? Perhaps you take medications that clash with grapefruit. Perhaps you dislike fish or struggle with kidney issues that make high oxalate foods risky. That's where safe alternatives come in. Here are 5 senior-friendly substitutions I often recommend. Berries, blueberries, strawberries, blackberries. Packed with flavonoids and antioxidants, they improve circulation without interfering with medications. Avocados, full of potassium and healthy fats. They regulate blood pressure and support muscle contraction. Pumpkin seeds, a magnesium powerhouse, they prevent cramps and stabilize circulation like nuts do, but in a lighter seed-based form. Olive oil, a cornerstone of the Mediterranean diet. Olive oil reduces inflammation and keeps blood vessels supple. Sweet potatoes, rich in fiber, potassium, and antioxidants, they provide steady energy and circulation support without spiking blood sugar. And beyond food, let me offer practical circulation rules that make every bite work harder for you. Eat earlier in the day. Your body digests and circulates nutrients more efficiently before evening. Pair fruit with protein or fat. This balances blood sugar and protects vessel health. Avoid heavy meals right before bed. Nighttime is for repair, not for struggling with digestion. Stay hydrated. Blood is mostly water. Dehydration makes circulation sluggish. Move after meals. Even a short walk can help push blood into your legs and prevent stagnation. Now I know some of you may feel overwhelmed. You might be thinking, "Doctor, I can't change everything at once." And you're right, you don't need to. Start with one step. Add a handful of greens to lunch. Replace white bread with whole grain. Swap a sugary snack for a piece of dark chocolate. Every small change compounds like drops of water filling a glass until one day you realize your legs are stronger, your walks are longer, and your life feels lighter. I've seen it happen countless times. Seniors in their 70s or 80s who thought decline was inevitable suddenly find themselves playing with grandchildren, tending gardens, or taking evening strolls without pain. Their secret wasn't luck, it was knowledge applied with consistency. So, here's my final question for you. Are you willing to take control of your circulation and muscle health starting today? Because the future of your legs and your independence depends not on fate, but on the choices you make each time you sit down to eat. Before I say goodbye, let me leave you with this. Aging is not a loss, it's an invitation to live more intentionally, to nourish your body wisely, and to protect the freedom of movement that keeps you connected to the world. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment with 1. If not, feel free to comment with 0. Your feedback means so much to me, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so that more seniors can learn how to keep their legs strong and their hearts healthy. Take care, and remember, you have more power over your health than you realize. Choose wisely, and your legs will carry you confidently for years to come.